Nearly 3 million disabled people would lose their current benefits under a reform government, according to Robert Jenrick today. He describes this country's compassion for disabled people as suicidal empathy. Given the comments I've had recently about my severely disabled twins, I am very confident to say the problem is not too much empathy for disabled people. They're releasing a whole 50-page plan tomorrow, apparently, but what we've seen so far is utterly unhinged and deliberately misleading. Jenrick jumps straight from unemployment to PIP, which is not even an unemployment benefit. He tells this extraordinary story about a young man who was signed off with poor mental health, quickly received a letter saying he didn't need to work, money just started arriving, and then nobody from the state contacted him again. So that is either a complete fabrication or there is a pretty massive chunk of that story missing. And if he is now well enough to work, as Jenrick claims, what is actually stopping him? Maybe that's the issue they should be tackling. They think they're going to save £50 billion a year, and they will invest just £1.85 billion into talking therapies, physiotherapy and employment support, which is about £600 for each of the people that they're targeting, before you even get to the vast investment that would be needed in those services to prevent people falling out of work in the first place. He presents the rise in benefit claims as malingering, essentially, rather than the completely foreseeable consequences of austerity and the decimation of our public services. Worse still, Reform want councils to decide what support people with lower level disabilities need. Yes, the same councils that have demonstrably failed disabled children and adults for years. Why would we take a system that's already failing and give it even more responsibility for deciding what disabled people need? And then he talks about recovery as though disability is a temporary state. Yes, some people can recover, but some people will need support for life, even more so if they're failed in childhood. But the government is trying to take the legal right to support for disabled children and young people away. If Reform genuinely wanted fewer disabled children to become economically inactive adults, why aren't they putting their energy into opposing these reforms? Oh, because this isn't actually about improving outcomes or employment rates, is it? It is ideological pandering to a deliberately misinformed public. This is why we're fighting to protect the legal rights of children and young people with SEND. Taking them away will only create adults who need more support. And clearly, if Reform are in power, they're not going to get it. And what is going to happen to society then? The full 50-page report is coming tomorrow, apparently, so I'll be back with the detail.